Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a classic, hot chocolate donuts. Now, I know you see it in the liquid form. Hot chocolate is absolutely delicious and everyone loves it, but these are in a donut form. Very different, and they're not fried, so you can sort of save some calories, and they're spectacular. Now, get off your high horse if you think you need them to be fried in hot oil. You don't. These can be just as delicious and save just a few calories so you can eat some other things during the holidays. So before we get started, I'd like you to click that notification button and become a subscriber so you never miss any of my videos or tips because they're awesome. Now, this donut recipe is good for any holiday. So if you would like to, we are going to dip them in this beautiful chocolate glaze first and foremost, and then we're going to sprinkle them with various things that say the holiday to you, whatever that might be. So for my Jewish friends, we're going to sprinkle them with all various beautiful blue sprinkles. And for my Christian friends that celebrate Christmas, we are going to sprinkle them with crushed candy cane. And obviously, they're all going to have mini marshmallows on top because you can't have hot chocolate without mini marshmallows, at least in my opinion. So let's get started. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This is known as the creaming method of mixing this batter. I have donut molds. I have 2 of them, donut pans. And if you don't have them, you can make these in muffin pans as well, muffin cups. I just sprayed them with nonstick cooking spray, sprinkled them with some granulated sugar, and dumped out the excess in the sink. And I have 2 of those. This should make about 2 dozen donuts, depending on how big your donut pan is and how big your muffin cup is if you don't have the donut pans. So very easy. All right, so let's get our dry ingredients ready first because we want to whisk them and get them all ready. This is part of our mise en place. This is how we build our beautiful emulsion of a batter, and we make it so beautiful that it rises perfectly. So everything sort of has to be just right, especially in baking. So I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour in this bowl, and then I have 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot cocoa mix. You can buy that in the grocery store where the beverages are, the coffee and tea is, and buy it with marshmallows, but not the marshmallows that are in the mix. Buy it so that the mini marshmallows are on the side. They come in like in a second packet. Keep those for later, and we're going to use those to sprinkle later on. So this is 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot chocolate mix. So we're going to put that in there. All right. And then we have 1½ teaspoons of baking soda. That's going to be our leavening agent, and ½ teaspoon of table salt. All right. And then we're going to mix that up, and we're going to, it smells like hot chocolate. It really does. Yum, yum, yum. And we're just going to mix that up thoroughly because you really want that baking soda. You want the salt. You don't want anybody to get like a salty donut because the salt wasn't homogeneously blended in. You want everything to be beautiful and mixed properly. All right, so once that's done, you're going to go to your electric mixer. I have 1 stick of unsalted butter that's been softened. Put that in the bowl. I have 1 cup of packed brown sugar, could be dark or light. Put that in there. And then I have ½ cup of granulated sugar in there. And we're going to start our creaming process. So that's with the paddle attachment always. And you are going to blend this on medium speed until it's creamed. It's known as creaming. So medium to medium high. And you're getting that butter actually to aerate. You want to force air into the butter with the sugar, the granulations of the sugar. So once we get that really going, maybe it doesn't have to be too much because we don't want it to be too fluffy. We just want it to be blended very, very well. Maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and keep that going. I have 2 large eggs that I've already cracked. You don't want to get shells in, so always pre-crack your eggs. Never crack them in the mixer. Trust me on this. And then I have 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I'm going to put it right in with the eggs. On the side here, I have 1 cup of well-shaken buttermilk. Could be light buttermilk, could be fully fatted buttermilk, whatever you want to use. This is our acid. This is what the baking soda is going to react with to help our donuts rise. Actually, beautiful neutralization reaction, and that's what's going to make the donuts leaven properly. So, next part of the creaming method of mixing, once I have been creaming my fat and my sugar, I'm going to put it on low speed, and I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. How do you know when you have 1 egg blended in? Just when 1 yolk goes in and whatever white goes in with it, perfect. I'm going to mix that up until it's blended. You don't add both eggs at once. You add 1, wait till it sort of incorporates, and now you add the other. All right? And then you don't add the buttermilk right away. This is where you do alternating dry and wet ingredients. This is classic creaming method of mixing. All right? So I'm going to lower my speed. I'm going to shut it off for a second. And then I'm going to just scrape down the sides of the bowl. All right. Sometimes I do that if I see things sort of on the sides. And then I put it on low speed because you don't want to increase and make any gluten formation. You're going to have a little for structure. That's the protein in the wheat flour, the all-purpose flour. So we're going to add about 1/3 of the dry ingredients. Just eyeball it, about 1/3. All right, if you add a little more, nothing's going to happen. There's no donut police, don't worry. It's just me. You're among friends. All right, so about 1/3, 1 more spoonful and we're there. All right, and it gets pretty thick. And then you're going to add 1/2 of the buttermilk. Again, eyeball it. And your donuts are not going to look super, super dark, like they're really chocolatey, because it's hot chocolate. So you're going to get that beautiful flavor with a slightly lighter color. All right, so now I'm going to add another 1/3 of my flour mixture. Just going to add that in. You want to do it slowly, and you don't want to ever overmix, because you don't want to develop too much gluten. We just want enough for our donuts to hold together, but we want them tender. That's about right. Now we're going to add the remainder of our buttermilk, okay? So again, alternating dry, wet, always ending with dry. That's how the creaming method goes. That's how it goes. And this is done for cakes, this is done for quick breads, like a donut. It's done for all sorts of baked goods. All right? And if you see any flour along the edges, we will put that, incorporate that in with a rubber spatula at the end. Now I'm going to get the remainder of our dry ingredients in, our last and final 1/3. All right? Our oven is ready to go, and we're going to get these right in the oven. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is show you that it's a lighter batter, which is going to be a beautiful contrast to our chocolate glaze. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oops. All right, so here we go. I'm going to clean that off. Clean that paddle off. Paddle is typically used for the creaming method when you want to blend things together. Very typical. And now, because there's a little bit of a sort of a hole or thing that sticks up in an electric mixer, just go around, get everybody in. Everybody's got to be in the batter. Just give it a good go around, but don't over mix. Just give it a good go around now. All right, I think we're all in there. Hot chocolate. All right, so now I'm going to get my pan. I have 2 pans. I'm going to do a few for you and then get them in. They really don't bake very long. I would say, I want to make sure I get this right for you, probably about 10 minutes. You might need 10 to 12 minutes depending on your oven. I'm going to say about 2 tablespoons of batter, and I do have a tablespoon measure. And it's a thick batter. That's what you want. So I'm just going to use a little bit of an offset spatula. And I'm just going to put that in there. And I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm just going to spread. See how I'm spreading it? You can spread it with a butter knife too. So if you don't have an offset, don't worry. And you just don't want to get any on the sides. Don't slop it on the sides. All right. And then I'll do one more for you. So we got about a tablespoon on one side, and then I put another tablespoon on the other and just sort of spread. And I'm going to fill these and bake them for about 10 to 13 minutes, depending on your oven. You just want them to be springy. They're going to spring back. I'm going to put a little bit more in there. I don't think it has enough. All right. And you just want to fill the pan, not totally all the way. It's about 4/5 full. And you want to give it room to grow, but you don't want it to grow so much that you can't, that it goes over the edges, right? You want it to be donutty. I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to put them in my 350-degree oven, and then we get to dip and decorate. Can't wait. So my hot chocolate donuts came out of the oven, and it took about 10 to 13 minutes until they were perfect. Remember, all ovens are different, so you may need about 3 more minutes, not just 10, but 10 to 13. And they're wonderful. They're tender. They're light. The whole house smells like hot chocolate. And I let them cool. I put them on a wax paper lined sheet pan. You could do foil, whatever you want to do. I have a beautiful chocolate glaze. I did a beautiful video, very easy, fast video for you to do this all-purpose chocolate glaze. So you'll want to get that. And I'm going to take one. We're going to dip it in. All right. And then we're just going to dip it in and give it sort of a, look at that, look at that. And then for my Hanukkah friends, I'm going to do a little blue bling. And then it's not hot chocolate until you put the marshmallows on. Yes, yes. All right, and if they fall off, you stick them back on. We're going to do another one. So whatever you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, or you don't celebrate anything, but you like hot chocolate, make these. They're amazing. They're amazing. Oh, are they gorgeous or what? And remember, don't forget the mini marshmallows, because it ain't hot chocolate unless they have mini marshmallows. So I hope all of you have a wonderful holiday. I'm going to continue dipping and having so much fun with my hot chocolate donuts. You've got to make these. You've got to become a subscriber. I want you. Till next time.